28-10. Back after this.
For undefeated Notre Dame and undefeated Air Force. Both 6-0. Notre Dame has just kicked off. And the first play from scrimmage goes to the fullback, Steve Massey, off tackle for a gain of about 3. And Chance Harridge, who Fisher DeBerry, his head coach, says will probably be General Harridge someday. He's that kind of leader. About a 50% passer. He has scored 15 rushing touchdowns, with the wing bone featuring Palmer, Massey, and Clark, Amezaga, the wideout, and Strecker, the tight end. On 2nd down and 6, Harridge had the man in motion. First option pitch of the night. And it's Leotis Palmer. Run down, but not before he gets a first down. Glenn Earl and Jerome Sapp followed him to the sideline as we check the Air Force offensive line. And as usual, not a very big group, but they carry out their assignments just about to perfection. Up front for Notre Dame, Roberts the leader, 6 sacks. His backup, Justin Tuck, has 4 sacks. So they get a lot of production from right defensive end. Palmer in motion this time. And then reverses field, takes it right up the middle, and a gain of about 3.
Linebackers from Notre Dame led by Courtney Watson, and he is the key tonight. If he can not have to tackle the fullback Massey and can fly off to the quarterback and the pitchman, Notre Dame's defense could be in good shape.
Walton, 3rd in the country, 5 interceptions. He's had a hand in 8 of Notre Dame's 19 takeaways. And the Notre Dame defense is responsible for more points than the Notre Dame offense on a weekly basis so far. Watson very active as well, their only returning linebacker starter. On the pitch, it's Darnell Stevens, and Montez Duff driving him out of bounds very close to a first down, but about a yard shy. Let's check in quickly with Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, and for those who didn't get a chance to see Auburn's last gasp in overtime, down 7 to Florida. Jason Campbell, this is the 4th down play. He needs to get to the yellow line, and he cannot. Big play by Clint Mitchell to drag him down, and the Gators survive by 7 in OT.
So they avert the 3-game losing streak. Just getting started here. Air Force has 1 first down. Now they look at a 3rd and 1. There is no better team in the country at converting 3rd downs, 54% for the year. Harridge, his first option keeper, will have another first down. Derek Curry up on the tackle. (6-0) Air Force, ranked 15th. 6-0 Notre Dame, ranked 7th. And the best part of their defense is against the run, 5th in the country, and nobody runs the ball better than the Falcons. So Notre Dame up against that, up against 6,621 feet of altitude. The longer the drive, the bigger a factor that becomes. Massey up the middle. Let's welcome down on the sidelines Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Dave, Fisher DeBerry usually starts emotionally motivating his team on Wednesdays or Thursdays each week, but he always saves his best stuff for Saturday's pregame. Moments ago, he told his team, games like this, opportunities like this, don't come along too often, and he implored his team, take advantage. You will be remembered as a team for what you do tonight, and you will remember tonight for the rest of your lives. And obviously, Dave, he'd like it to be a good memory.
Not bad so far. Typical Air Force drive on 2nd down and 8. Option pitch around the left side, fighting to get around the corner. Palmer, and can't get close.
Well, Bill, let's talk about what Air Force likes to do and what we're going to look for on defense. And it's very simple. Count the white jerseys on the ground. If there's a lot of white jerseys on the ground, you're going to see a lot of cut blocks by this Air Force offense. These guys like to go low, take the legs out, and have the guys on the ground. A good job here by Notre Dame staying on their feet and collapsing to the ball.
The cut block is perfectly legal. A lot of people get confused between the cut and the chop, and we'll talk about this as the game continues.
On 3rd and 6, Harris to the air for the first time, and going deep and incomplete. Intended for Palmer. And the Irish defense will force the first punt of the night. Walton out there on coverage.
Now, we've talked a lot about the fact that this Air Force Academy team can run the football. They run for 340 yards a game. They can also throw it with accuracy when they need to, but they do not like to get in 3rd and 6+ situations. That's not going to be conducive to success for them tonight.
John Welsh with the punt. Punters love this altitude. Montez Duff making the first man miss, and then run down by Trevor Hightower at the 15. 46 yards on the punt by Welsh. And we'll see Carlisle Holiday and the Notre Dame offense for the first time just getting started tonight from Colorado Springs.
Lee Corso, future sportscasters.
All Saturday night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Under the lights before a loud record house at Falcon Stadium. And Notre Dame, for the first time, they take over at their 15. Holiday with him out in the eye. Arnez battle in motion. Ryan Grant with a handoff. And drags a couple of tacklers for 5 yards. Nicholas Taylor, the nose guard, hanging on the longest. Holiday out of San Antonio says by his own admission he's only been adequate. He needs to pick it up. Last week his first start since he hurt his left shoulder against Michigan State.
And his picker-upper guy is number 3. You see him there to the right, Arnez Battle. Arnez has made the transition from quarterback. He is a big-time wide receiver now. He can go the distance. He can run away from people, and he's had success doing just that against Big Ten schools. He'll have to make the big plays for the Irish to move the ball consistently.
Billy Palmer tight end motion. And a first down and a lot more for Grant. To the secondary and out to the 36. A gain of 15. Wes Crawley runs him down. Watch this blocking up front for Notre Dame.
And one of the things we're going to talk about here was a 2 tight end situation for Notre Dame. They say West Coast offense. Bill will talk about the smash mouth West Coast offense that Notre Dame may use tonight.
They call it the hard-nosed West Coast offense. Sean Mahan, number 79, makes a big hit there. Big guys from Notre Dame off to a good start.
He wides this time on a first down. Holiday short toss battle, making the first man miss, and now reverses field. And running away from Crawley in the open field before they'll mark him out of bounds. He ran about 50 to gain about 8. The offensive line for the Irish allowing the 5th most sacks in the country, almost 4 per game, and only 143 rush yards per game, but a good start for that group tonight. Defensive line, Coleman has missed the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain. Small but great technique. Taylor also missed with an ankle sprain last week, and they may only have 30-35 plays in them tonight. Adler taking a breather, 2nd and 2. Again, lots of room for Grant. To the Air Force 38-yard line. A gain of 18 this time. Sophomore out of Nyack, New York, averaging 88 yards per game. Is about halfway there already.
Jordan Black, 78th, and Sean Milligan pulling 65. Open a huge hole for Grant. A lot of space to run, and he's not even getting touched till at least the 2nd level. It's a big offensive line. Dave, you just introduced that defensive line. The biggest man in that line, 260 pounds. This Notre Dame O-line, at least three of them go over 300 pounds.
Battle back in, back to the eye on first down. And this time, Marcus Wilson giving Grant a breather. The linebacking core for Air Force is led by the first sophomore captain they've ever had here, Anthony Schlegel, who is playing a lot like his idol. The reason he wears number 51, Dick Beckus.
Defensive secondary, you'll see 5 defensive backs. Keep an eye on Mark Marsh. They're called the Falcon positions, right Falcon and left Falcon. This defense, Richard Bell defense, is a 3-3-5, and they're asked, they're like hybrids between defensive backs and linebackers, asked to make a lot of plays both against the pass and the run.
Leading tackler on the team at his first career interception last week against BYU in a blowout win. Notre Dame marching down the field, sacked. And the ball is loose at the 38-yard line, and Air Force recovers. John Radzinski from the inside linebacker. Fifth sack of the year, tops for the Air Force, and Mark Marsh gets the recovery.
When you have a size disadvantage, you must do something to counter. This is a blitz. It was not handled well. You see Radzinski coming around the left guard here. He's clean in the backfield, and this is Richard Bell football, meaning the defensive coordinator for the Air Force Academy.
Promising drive ends abruptly, and back to work in the triple option, Adam Cole. The backup fullback, maybe a yard or so. So we're midway first quarter. Notre Dame and Air Force both 6-0. And as we look around Falcon Stadium and see every seat already taken, we also look out to the line of traffic, and there's cars still backed up all the way to I-25.
I mean, miles of them.
They're going to miss a lot of the game.
I don't know how they're going to get everybody squeezed in here. This time, Darnell Stevens trying the right side. And no gain. Courtney Watson able to screen him out. We thought there'd be SRO, and that removes any doubt. I mean, that's all that's left here.
Where are they going to put them? That's exactly right. I mean, this place.
Well, at least they don't have to stand.
Yeah, they can sit in their car for now.
Sitting in the car. I guess they got a radio broadcast.
Fisher DeBerry in his 19th year. 8th winningest coach on the active list, 3 of those 147 against the Irish. Harridge over the middle, first completion, and at midfield, fighting his way for extra yards, is J.P. Waller. And let's check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Dave, Texas and Kansas State Longhorns by a field goal. This by Jared Bryant to put it into overtime with 7 seconds left. Block! And the Longhorns save themselves in Manhattan, 17-14. They bounced back after the disappointment against Oklahoma last week, and the Fighting Tedfords of Cal knock off UCLA 17-10.
Probably the worst week of Mac Brown's coaching career ends on a high note. Harridge option pitch. Palmer had to shuffle his feet a little bit because Jerome Sapp came up and took the pitch man, and you can't do it a whole lot better than that.
And that is what the Notre Dame defense needs to do. You saw them swarm to the ball. There were no white shirts on the ground that time. That's what Air Force prides himself on that O-line, is cutting the people out, taking their knees out from under them, putting them on the ground. Watch all the defense of the white shirts. You're going to see them staying up, flying to the ball. They're trying to cut blocks. They're either side-swiping it or getting their hands down. A lot of standing defenders there, and that's not going to be good for that Falcon offense.
Well, we mentioned Air Force gets 54% on third down, and they say the reason is they're so successful on first down. We've got flags and whistles here. First down, they're used to 4, 5, 6 yards, and a second and short turning into a first down or a third and short. They're not used to 2nd and 11.
Delay of game. Offense.
This game has not started well for Air Force Academy. I thought the early going would be an advantage for the Academy, and it's worked exactly the other way. The Notre Dame defense has stayed on its feet. They have swarmed to the football. Their offense came out, drove the ball down the field, and even though they turned it over, they changed the field position. Notre Dame right now is dominating this football game on both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defense.
So second down, 16. Off play action, Harridge retreats and then overthrows Palmer.
Now Harridge has a good arm. He has nice accuracy, but they're not going to make a living throwing the football. Here's a little delay across the middle. Nice job, nice throw and catch. J.P. Waller. Now watch his eyes. This is what he does for a living. He's looking at the defensive end. The defensive end closes. He pulls the ball. That's the first option. He goes down, executes the second and third. And we'll continue that discussion.
Throwing on 3rd and 16 and throwing deep and overthrown. No chance on that one, intended for Ricky Amiziga.
Well, now 2 drives, and we've seen 2 3rd and longs for the Air Force, 3rd and 16 and before a 3rd and 8. And as we've talked about and will continue to say, they cannot make a living doing that at all.
No, their cut blocking is not working. The idea with a cut block, which is perfectly legal, is to knock the opponent down. The Notre Dame defenders are doing a great job of staying on their feet.
So again, Duff dropping back deep for Notre Dame. And John Welsh doing a little acting, does not draw a flag. And his punt is out of bounds at the 17. 6:36 in the scoreless first quarter. At best. Air Force as low as 6th in the conference. There were some teams that had Notre Dame behind teams like Illinois, Utah really struggling, and Air Force behind a team like SMU that won its first game of the year today. Just remember that, because they come in 7 and 15 and 6 and 0 across the board. 17-yard line. First drive ended in a fumble by Holiday, and this one starts with Wilson blown backwards. Joel Belo coming up. He's the left Falcon, kind of a rover type.
They come into tonight's game with 35 tackles for loss. They love to take chances and hit the gaps. Here's your Falcon. Here's everybody coming in and taking out the block here. Pressure from this side over here. They're just flying to the ball. 3-man line, but you'll rarely see 3 guys in the rush. The linebackers and Falcons will always get involved.
Loss of 3. And Rodzinski coming again. Carlisle in trouble. And a desperation throw out of his own end zone. That's 3 plays in a row now where Air Force comes as aggressively as they can.
The crowd is calling for grounding here, but the rule says if he throws the ball away beyond the line of scrimmage and he's outside the tackle box, this is not intentional grounding. But once again, Nicholas Taylor, 95, the nose guard, is clean in the backfield. They very nearly got a safety there. Monty Coleman on him in the end zone. And Carlisle very wisely got rid of the football. There's Coach Richard Bell, who happened to be my linebacker coach, which aged him several years when he was a young guy. Holding up rather well, Coach Bell.
I think they may come after him again. Much better protection, but nobody open. And the deep out is incomplete.
Now understand, as you watch these men play on both teams, the sophisticated offenses, Notre Dame still learning their offense, the new sophisticated defense for the Air Force Academy taught by Coach Bell. Virtually every player on this field is going to graduate from college. 100% graduation rate by both these schools. Bright guys. Don't let anybody tell you that can't be done.
Joey Hillbold standing just inside his own end zone. And a flag down. Very high kick. It's an Irish bounce. And now Palmer breaking 2 tackles and reaches the 35. But again, the flag back at the line of scrimmage. A 54-yard punt by Hillbold here in pregame warmups with hitting some 60 and 70 yards.
Yeah, he gets it up in the air. Well, we'll see what the flag is, but keep an eye on Palmer when he's returning kicks. Strongest guy in their strength index for Air Force, 3rd highest ever. It's incredible. A 380 bench, a 500 squat, the 42-inch vertical. That man can break tackles.
And he's 5'8", 175.
Illegal formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. 4th down.
Well, we're talking about what Notre Dame's defense was doing well and not getting chopped and stopping the run. Bill Diedrich, the offensive coordinator for Notre Dame, said they worked a lot on the blitz pickup this week. This Air Force defense is blitzing extremely well. Notre Dame not picking it up well and getting a lot of pressure on Holiday.
He also said the key thing was to block those Falcons coming off the edge, and the very first lost yardage play in this drive was Belo, number 21, the Falcon coming off the edge. They did not get him blocked. He's the one that disrupted the play. Notre Dame called for an illegal formation here because they don't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. By golly, they're lined up incorrectly again. The left tackle is too deep.
They come in for Hilgold. Paul Mayo almost blocked it. And Palmer with another couple of missed tackles, and they'll start now from the Irish 46. This is a 50-yard punt, but a return of 13. And how close Mayo came to blocking this one.
Paul Mayo, number 1. Air Force Academy, the second best kick blocking team in America over the last decade. Virginia Tech has blocked 80, Air Force 78 since 1990.
Oh, that is laying out for the ball. Fantastic effort by Mayo.
Everybody knows Virginia Tech and their kick blocking reputation. Air Force almost their equal. Palmer in motion, Harris stumbling and losing yardage. About as uncomfortable as you'll see him running the option. College Football Thursday presented by Circuit City, and the Wolfpack of NC State barely survived Duke today. Maybe looking ahead to Clemson. 7:30 Eastern, ACC shootout. The nation's leading passer coming into this weekend, Phillip Rivers, trying to keep their BCS hopes alive, visiting Death Valley, and Willie Simmons and the Clemson Tigers. Another good one on Thursday night. Harris losing 3. And the give this time is to Joe Schieffer. He reverses field back up the middle. Back to about the original line of scrimmage.
The thing that's interesting about this Air Force offense and what to keep an eye on is they will continue to do the exact same thing throughout the game. It's not gaining yards right now. It just takes 1 or 2 times for you to mess it up on defense, get cut that one time, take that one play off, and all of a sudden Harridge or Palmer is running down the field for a long touchdown run. You have to be disciplined the entire game against this offense.
And again, something Air Force isn't used to. 3rd and long, needing 10. Throw is incomplete, intended again for Amezago.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the 3rd time that Air Force has been in 3rd and long situations, meaning 3rd and 6 or more. Coach DeBerry's staff and his fine offensive coordinator, Chuck Peterson, has studied this. And if you get in 7 or more 3rd and long situations in a game, you're likely to lose the football game. You just can't afford it in this kind of offense. Notre Dame's defense doing a dominant job again tonight.
So tonight, 2 out of 5 converting 3rd downs. High snap this time. Well, sends it very high, but when they mark where this one goes out, he won't get a whole lot of yardage out of it. Robert Barker's normally the punter for Air Force with a much better average kick. This is just 31 yards. Barker better than 45 yards per kick. Welsh so far tonight. Scoreless 4:02 in the first quarter.
He's a loving father.
Notre Dame again backed up. Haven't had much at all in the way of field position.
Fisher DeBerry, a deeply spiritual man. If you think he's not competitive, if you don't think he doesn't get in his guy's face, Belo playing a good game here, there's something he did that Coach DeBerry didn't like. He has high expectations for his man.
Holiday steps up, keeps, and driven down hard, and then picked up by Air Force. Marcello Brady has a touchdown.
For Air Force, a fantastic job peeling back and hunting down Holiday as he tried to weave through traffic. Puts the hit on Holiday. Holiday never saw him, lost the ball, and there's Grady taking it in for the score.
2 hits on Holiday, 2 lost fumbles. And for the extra point, 7-0 as Joey Ashcroft knocks it through. Junior out of Wrightsville, Georgia, Herschel Walker's hometown, picks up what John Hicks presented him.
Starts dancing a little bit, cut back, never sees Hicks coming from the right. Great hit, his helmet right on the ball. Excellent hit. And there's Mr. Grady to take advantage of the little kick.
Marcello Grady looking just a little bit like Herschel, maybe not quite the same speed. But this is the opportunistic defense Nice job of scrambling by Carlisle, but the ball unprotected and the headgear on the back of it. Grady takes it in the end zone. This bunch has already forced 15 turnovers in the last 4 games. They are plus 10 in the turnover margin. They're plus 12 by now when you add the 2 they've gotten tonight. And the one thing Notre Dame could not afford, Mike, was this.
If Carlisle Holiday is going to scramble like that, he's got to be aware of his surroundings a little more than that instead of locking on downfield. Hicks with the fantastic hit. Grady, great job being right place at the right time, but Holiday got to be a little more aware of what's going on around him if he's going to be dancing in the middle of the field like that.
Well, what started as a promising play. He was going to get some decent yardage, and then Grady looks up 19 yards later, has a touchdown return of the fumble. Off a dangerous kick returner. And this one comes out from about 4 yards deep. Out to the 26.
All year long, Vontez Duff has wanted to make plays. He's darn sure going to do it there, coming from 4 yards deep.
Well, when you're scoring touchdowns in special teams and on defense the way Notre Dame is, you go ahead and take a few chances like this coming out of the end zone a couple yards deep.
Vontez Duff, part of the defense that's used to doing what Air Force just did. They've had 19 takeaways, the Irish we're talking about, leading to 78 points. That's 13 points per game. Their defense has been creative. Their offense just gave the Air Force defense 7. And they start from the 27 with Grant, who is strung out and a marker down as he's dropped for a loss. Jeff Overstreet up for the hit. Boy, they may be smaller and man for man across the board, Air Force's defenders are, but they hit with every ounce they had.
Boy, just remember, when these guys come out to play football, practice football, it's the most fun they have all day. They throw their hearts into it. I was at Thursday's practice. First thing you notice, there's 0% body fat. There's not any fat guys out there. I'm looking at Notre Dame, and they don't have any fat guys either. People are in shape, man, and they just run all day.
Down to Michelle.
Well, not only that, you guys, this is one of those defenses that brings out the best in Notre Dame's offense. They're saying they've got to stay with this team energy level, snap to whistle. We have to be as quick and as fast and play with as much energy as they play. We can't afford the 3 and outs. That was the thing from Bill Dietrich that he emphasized in practice this week. Can't afford the 3 and outs. Also can't afford the turnovers.
2nd and 12. Good way to get to a 3 and out, and Grant does well to push up near the 30, driven back from there by Anthony Schlegel.
Well, they tried to spread him out, 4 wide receivers, and then run the middle, and there's Schlegel right in the middle, leading tackler, saying, fellas, not tonight. You see the Air Force defense, they have made incredible improvements. Again, this is the first year they're going with the 3-3-5.
Now, you see that right there on his arm? I bet you thought that was a tattoo. That's real barbed wire. That guy's tough, man.
He is a sophomore who has been voted by his teammates as the captain of this football team. You want to talk about respect.
First time ever at the Air Force Academy. Well, maybe it is a tattoo.
Oh, it is. I was believing you.
But you had to wonder. Officials have timeout Notre Dame as they will discuss now 3rd down and 7. One thing Anthony Schlegel never does is take the field without having made contact before every game with, for him, really a religious artifact. That would be his autographed card of Dick Butkus.
And guess who
That's not you.
might be?
I don't think so.
No, if it's 1969, it would. But when I see this picture right here, it still causes my stomach to turn inside out.
He is a motivator. I'll tell you, when I was in high school, I had a highlight reel that they sold of Butkus, and I would watch that before my high school game too, and use
I
that.
had a highlight reel too.
Yeah, it was
knocking me in the dirt.
Maybe you were on that reel,
Coach
Bill.
Lombardi used to show it to me.
That's respect right there. That is absolute respect.
Mike, let's clarify this thing about the blocking. When we talk about cut and chop, a chop block is illegal. It's a setup by one blocker and another blocker comes down and takes the legs out. That's illegal. A cut block is legal. It's done straight ahead and you try to drive through the man's knees and get him on the ground.
How successful were you at cutting, Dick Buckley?
I had some success against other people. I could never find a way to. What I did was call John Mackey down. I made all the calls, and he was our tight end. I let Mackey block him with an angle, and I would help them both up.
Smart. Holiday on 3rd and 7. They get Battle underneath, and Battle has a first down. All the way to the 44. Nice call. Good for 14 yards, and Charles Akinyemi finally chases down Arnez Battle, the senior from Shreveport.
You're right, Dave. It was a nice call. Spread them out. The blitz comes up the middle. It's picked up. Battle's just going to come right across, staying right at the line of scrimmage. And this is what he does smart. He turns it up the field, straight north and south. He knows he has to get 7 yards for that first down. Didn't try to get cute and take it sideline to sideline. Got the first down, put his head down, and got what he could get. Excellent play call.
Notre Dame converts its first 3rd down. Jared Clark in motion. Back to Grant. And Grant hit after a gain of a couple. Grant had 40 yards on his first 3 carries tonight, and now they finally have a fairly decent handle on him. 6 carries, though, 46 yards for the sophomore.
When you play this stunting defense, you do take some chances. You're going to get gashed from time to time. Coach Bell was very gracious in giving praise to Charlie Strong, the coordinator at South Carolina, the defensive coordinator, who gave this package to the Air Force Academy. They look for lost yardage plays.
High on 2nd down. Here comes Schlegel on the blitz. Overran him. Holiday. First down. Holiday inside the 30. Holiday. Mark Morse tripped up. Can't get him. Carlisle Holiday has his revenge with a 53-yard touchdown.
And you don't think that man right there didn't want a little bit of payback after twice giving up the ball to the Falcons? He wanted to make good. He scrambles. Great job by the other offensive players, turning and getting blocks, cutting downfield. And then Holiday does the rest with some fantastic moves.
Nicholas Setta, who has hit 70 straight point after attempts. Keeps the streak going, ties it at 7.
Certainly not the way we've been expecting scores tonight, huh, guys? Wow.
Tyrone Willingham is one of the really fine fundamental coaches in America. What he'll do with Carlisle Holiday is he'll get this corrected, but even on this run, Mike, this ball is waving around. He does not, once he declares to run, right now he's still thinking maybe pass. Once he turns it up, this ball needs to be secure up against his chest, riveted all the time rather than waving around. He's still waving. It could still be batted out had anybody been able to catch him.
And we saw it twice already. You're right.
He outran everybody, but he's going to need to learn to really secure that football as if it were riveted to his rib cage. Coach Willingham will get that done, he and Bill Dietrich.
You are such a coach.
I'm sorry.
We'll never get that out. Are you kidding? Carlisle Holiday's 2nd rushing touchdown, and he had said that in this new system, the physical version of the West Coast, that he's had to do a little less improv than he was accustomed to. The abilities obviously are still there. Setta. Sending this one down to the goal line. Brian Blue returns. And returns it well up entered across the 30. And we check in with Reese Davis. So in a 7-7 game, Chance Harridge and the Air Force offense now with 1:02 to work with in the first quarter. We were told the winds were up to 15 miles an hour. That's elsewhere, where this stadium is tucked up underneath the mountains. Wind out of the northwest totally blocked off, and so the flags are completely still. Harridge on the keeper, and about a gain of 4. And the temperature, which was 44 degrees when we started, with a wind chill of 34, expected to drop temperature-wise into the mid-30s, wind chill-wise down into the mid-20s.
I got to say, in the early going, I thought that under these circumstances that the early quickness of Air Force would be to their advantage, but the Notre Dame defense has outquicked them.
Palmer went in motion. And let's again check in with Reese.
All right, Dave, whatever Nick Saban said to his LSU Tigers at halftime, he ought to try it more often. Down 14-6 at the half, Dominic Davis puts the exclamation point on a great second half. They outscored them 32-0, 38-14 Bayou Bengals in a blowout.
Wow, 35 unanswered LSU points in that thing. That was 14-3 South Carolina late in the first half.
Somebody told Mike and me South Carolina had won the game when we were walking back up here before the game.
Must have been a South Carolina fan, hopeful fan.
End of the first quarter, Air Force took a 7-0 lead on a 19-yard fumble return by Marcello Grady. Carlisle Holiday struck back with a 53-yard touchdown keeper. So 15 minutes in the books in Colorado Springs. 6-0 Air Force, 6-0 Notre Dame are tied.
Log on to EA.
Coming off Jeff Fain's bald head. That's
that's a little steam.
That's steam.
Yeah. His body's a little warm. It's a little cold out.
Start of the second quarter now. Falcon Stadium, Colorado Springs. And Harridge giving to Darnell Stevens, who was tripped up on a nice dart inside by the free safety, Glenn Earl. Our ESPN game track through the first quarter. In a 7-7 tie. First for Holiday, disaster as Marcello Grady recovered the fumble caused by John Hicks, 19 yards, but Holiday came right back. 53 yards. His previous longest run of the year was 19. Broke that one to tie it. Stevens in motion. Harridge, the throw on the run is way over the intended receiver, Alec Messerow.
Let me go back to that last play when Glenn Earl caught the running back behind the line of scrimmage. Coming into tonight, guys, Air Force has rushed for 2,134 yards. They've only lost 99 yards. They've only been tackled behind the line for 99 yards worth of that. It's amazing. Rarely are they caught. So that was a huge play by Glenn Earl to get him behind the line. They are a team going east and west with the option, but rarely get caught back there. It's very impressive by this offense.
And they're forcing Air Force to do what Air Force does not wish to do, which is to throw the ball a lot.
They've never thrown more than 16 this year. They're 1 for 6 for 11, and another third and long. They give on the draw to Stevens, and Darnell Stevens comes up just shy of the first. He'll miss it by a couple of yards. Courtney Watson there for the tackle on the sophomore out of Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Kent Baer, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, said, I made a mistake. I went home after our game last week, and I watched these guys play against BYU, and I couldn't sleep. But he came up with a marvelous plan, and it's really keeping them in the situations they would like to be in. They're forcing Air Force to do things they'd rather not do. Here's the first really big situation in this football game, 4th and 2 at midfield.
They come out to go for it, or maybe do what Oklahoma did last week, and they get somebody to jump with no intention of running the play. Nope, they're running it all the way, and Harridge will have the first down. Fisher DeBerry thinking to beat a Notre Dame, you have to take some calculated risks, and this one's going to work out.
We're going to talk you through the triple option again. When that defensive lineman closes and takes the fullback, the quarterback pulls right out of the fullback's stomach, and here he comes, and he sees just a little opening. He knows he only needs 2 yards, and this is what a winning quarterback does. He turns it up and he makes that first down.
He is by far the guy most used to carrying the ball. About a third of the time he'll end up with it, as he does again here, and turns this into traffic. Well, Sunday night at 9, you can catch 2 episodes of ESPN's hit reality series, beg, borrow, and deal, while Team Kobe is challenging NHL goalie Fred Brathwaite in Hockeytown. Team Contact is spinning its wheels in Richmond, Virginia. And then at 10, Team Kobe looks to America's pastime to try and achieve 2 tasks, throwing and singing. Meanwhile, Team Contact up to bat as they look to strike gold on Tobacco Road. Beg, borrow, and deal presented by Miller Lite, Sunday, 9 Eastern on ESPN.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. 2nd and 7 for Harridge. And the late pitch. Where it can be dangerous, but they're the best, maybe, ever at taking care of the ball. Palmer brought down by Cedric Hilliard.
Now, we've been talking about cut blocks, and Notre Dame's been able to stay on their feet reasonably well. This time, we see a superb cut block by number 27, fullback Adam Cole, and number 44, Justin Tux. And there he goes on the ground. Now the quarterback's out on the grass, as we say in wishbone football. There it is. Boom, right there. Got his man on the ground, allowed the quarterback to continue where he wants to continue so that he pitches, and that's the 3rd option, which is the pitch to the tailback.
3rd and 5, even that a little longer than they're used to. They go nowhere with the give to Cole. Cedric Hilliard again on the stop. Record crowd tonight. Should be 3,000–4,000 above the listed capacity of Falcon Stadium. One of the most, maybe the most anticipated matchup ever for the Air Force Academy. 6-0, number 15. 6-0, Notre Dame is here, ranked number 7. Air Force scoring first on a fumble return by Marcello Grady, and then a 53-yard keeper by Carlisle Holiday tied it at 7. High snap. Welsh, good directional punter, aiming for the corner, and he got pretty close. Just inside the 5.
Oh, he's going backward.
Now that back up to the 2. Even better. Well, can't do it much better than that. Air Force and Notre Dame, truly a tale of 2 seasons, a drama in 3 acts. We'll explain coming up.
Well, people.
Game day crew warm. We'll hear from Chris Kirk and Lee coming up at the half as the folks that get them on the air.
Doesn't look too Olympic, though.
Colorado Springs' own Chris Fowler. Back home. They finally decide that Welsh's punt went out at the 6. Raymond McKnight in motion. Ryan Grant with a nice burst back up the middle, should have another 1st down. Well, this tale of 2 seasons has indeed been dramatic. Act 1, Scene 1. We take you back September 7th. Notre Dame, Purdue, and that's Vontez Duff intercepting the tip pass. 33 yards later, a touchdown to give the Irish a win. Meanwhile, New Mexico against Air Force, and New Mexico failing on 4th and 13 from the 16. Casey Kelly's pass tipped away, and Air Force won 38-31 in overtime. And there is a lot more to that story. First down. This time they've got Grant and Schlegel right there on them at the line of scrimmage.
What this defense does, again, with the 2 Falcon positions, again, kind of tweeners, 3-3-5, gives them 8 guys up in the box, a lot of times more up there than there is to block. And then you add in the backside speed of these smaller players, but they're fast. They make up for it coming backside. And if that running back gets held up at all and has to cut back, those backside defenders are right there to make the play.
The average start for Notre Dame has been their own 15-yard line. Average for Air Force has been their 36. So again, Notre Dame fighting the field position. Grant with a huge hole. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 as Wes Crawley has the tackle this time, the left cornerback. Bill Diedrich, after 4 years coordinating the offense at Stanford, says in general we're very close to getting where we want, but we're still pretty far away. What he means by that is the details are still escaping a lot of it.
It's, again, these are guys that haven't played this type of an offense. It's their first, and now they're 6 games into this new offense. They're still learning exactly right the finer points of it, Dave.
Carlos Campbell in, motion down on a 3rd and 3. And again, great blocking. Grant into the clear and finally written out way up at the 45-yard line. A gain of 30. And so far, Air Force has had no answer for Ryan Grant.
It looks like Jeff Fain, the center, number 52's ankle is just fine. He took on Anthony Schlegel, the main man in tackling. Watch number 52 right here on the middle of your screen. Beautiful job by the center. And it just opens up the hole, and he finishes the job and drives him in the dirt, and that's what you're supposed to do to little linebackers.
That's just
Schlegel's got to keep his pads down.
Yep, big man on small man.
That's right.
Grant goes to 100 yards already, 10 for 94, all day for Holiday. Holiday going deep in single coverage, intended for Battle and incomplete.
Holiday's pass intended for Battle is incomplete.
It's that taking a chance every now and then. They're running the ball, and then take a shot over the top. Air Force is going to be in a lot of zone coverage. They're not going to let a lot of people run past them. And they didn't. The ball really hung up in the air for Battle, but Mayo was not letting Battle get behind him.
No, but it was a nice throw by Holiday because only his guy was going to be able to catch it, if anybody was going to catch it. And I like the call. First down, 45-yard line. You just made a big first. Take a shot. Being bold.
It's also looking like Holiday's shoulder is just fine. Injured the left non-throwing shoulder about a month ago. This time it's Marcus Wilson taking advantage of the blocking. Good for 17 yards before Mark Marsh chases him down.
We talk about, again, the run blitzes by the defense. Sometimes you get gashed, and we're seeing this Falcon defense get it a little bit now. And again, big guys. Here's Fain again, 52. The turn back block. They're opening up huge holes. Godsey, the tight end, is actually coming around to block on the pull. A lot of room for these guys to run. They're not getting touched again until the second level. This is a man right here. This is a football player. He is one of the best centers. They're one of the best centers in the country.
Well, they've moved from their 6 to the Air Force 28, and again called on Wilson, sophomore from Staten Island, New York. Coming in, had appeared only 12 times all year, but the way Grant's going, he's going to need a few breathers.
Now, even with the mistakes that Notre Dame has made, this game is at the tempo they would like. Air Force has not been able to come out and get them all winded up here in this altitude and keep their defense on the field for long drives. The defense has played well, and the offense has kept the ball and changed field position. Now the offense needs to punch it in and score points if Notre Dame is to do what Coach Willingham wants him to.
Pounding away out of the eye this drive. More the same. Grant back in. And up for a quick hit is Joel Belo, joined by Schlegel.
And we'll see the effect again. We're up here in the high altitude, over 6,600 feet, and we saw Bill on the sideline for Notre Dame, a couple of big oxygen tanks, and Michelle will let us know if the players are using those and when they're using those. But you're right now the tempo is favoring Notre Dame because either side of the ball is not out there for an extended period of time.
And Mike, the offensive line of Notre Dame was using those oxygen tanks after that last drive that scored a touchdown.
Starting already, not surprising at all in this altitude for these guys to want to use that.
They come after Holiday with a blitz on 3rd and 6. Has to scramble, throws, open, incomplete, a little too tall for Omar Jenkins, who was wide open inside the 10.
That's a rare blown coverage by Air Force. Somebody came out of his zone, did not play responsibility. When the quarterback begins to move, you must stay in your zone. Whoever the corner is, Paul Mayo, number 1, that was deep 3rd. He should have been there, and he knows it. This could have very easily been a touchdown. Holiday would love to have this throw back.
So close. Here comes a 41-yarder for Seta. They would have a 16 with a long of 51 on the year. Started it right, had no hook.
Seta has really struggled. He's been 3 out of his last 10, now 3 for 11. I thought he was fantastic as a kicker a year ago.
So we stay at 7-7. 7:04 to go in the first half. And Air Force back on the attack when we return.
Every Saturday, I get together and play football with the guys.
At Bagram Air
base in Afghanistan, and we are going to be here for about, the next 5+ months or so. And we are here to cheer on the Air Force Academy as they kick a little bit of Notre Dame butt. Take it away, fellas. Air Force! Air Force! Air Force! Air Force!
That sounded about like they were right here on campus this week.
They got the sign and everything working.
Air Force holding their own so far despite being badly outgained. Still 7-7. Harridge's pass is almost intercepted as it's batted into the air by Courtney Watson down to Michelle.
Well, the last time that Notre Dame's defense was on the bench, defensive coordinator Kent Baer told his linebackers in particular on 3rd and 6 or more. So look for this, guys. When Air Force sees the Irish in their nickel package, they're going sprint draw. And he said, really look for it on every 3rd down. We'll see it's 2nd and 10, so likely be a 3rd and long. We'll look for it then.
Bears trying to cross him up by throwing on 1st down. Now 1 out of 7. 11 yards. They've only rushed for 55 so far. Harridge keeping. I don't think he even gets a yard.
There are no white shirts on the ground right now. Notre Dame defense is doing an excellent job flowing to the ball, Bill, and staying on their feet.
You see that big guy in the middle of our screen right here? That guy, Hilliard, is just all over the field. Cedric Hilliard, watch him, number 50, coming inside out. He has played a wonderful game. He's plugging up the fullback, chasing people, getting in on tackles. He is really, really a good football player.
Here's the 3rd long Michelle was just talking about.
Somebody better block Cedric if they're going to run that sprint draw here.
2 out of 7 on 3rd down. Harridge blitzed, retreats, and they've got a nice little screen set up perhaps. Don Clark is run down at about 32.
Yeah, and look who ran him down. That guy weighs 295 pounds. He's not winded. He's all over the field. I really like Cedric Hilliard.
And we'll get into how that will help. We have unofficial, I believe, for 6 tackles. If he can make the tackles on the fullbacks, how that's going to help the linebackers flow to the rest of that option.
Hey, he looks like a young Mike Golick to me.
Thanks, Bill. I'll give you the money a little later.
Well, this time they go to Robert Barkers for the punt. Averages rather than 45 yards per kick, and they're looking for distance and not necessarily a placement here. They do like to keep it away from Duff, though. It'll be marked out at 21, a 47-yarder. Speaking of a young Mike Golick, this brings to mind some of the great memories we all had.
Oh,
His
man.
video,
Here
number 55, he weighs about 240 back
That's
then,
a cut block.
I got cut.
Watch this, though. Watch him feather. Nice job. Run it down. Out of the way, Michael. See, they're not getting him on the ground now. Got the other guy on the ground.
But I tell you, the first one, though, you saw us get cut. I lost 3 out of my 4 years to Air Force. They did a fantastic job of running the ball on us back in the mid-'80s.
Notre Dame has had success going up the middle. This time Air Force strings Marcus Wilson out. Now, Mike, every time you came here, you had to deal with the same thing these guys are dealing with, the triple option, the altitude. What was it like?
It is difficult. If they have you on the field for a long amount of time in the beginning, as Bill talked about, you do get short of breath. Believe me, I was in the oxygen tank an awful lot when I was here. But the thing is the frustration, because you see you're bigger, you're stronger, you're faster than these guys, yet we're not tackling them. We get to the 3rd and 4th quarter, and they're still running on us. It gets to be so frustrating. Now, that was then. Now, the Notre Dame defense is playing it extremely well, but we certainly struggled against Air Force in my 4 years.
Holiday with a nice play fake. Schlegel has him. Still gets the pass off incomplete, intended for Battle. Little 360 thrown in for good measure by Holiday.
Wow.
It's kind of ugly.
That was some ballet now. Schlegel in hot pursuit. Holiday's using all his moves tonight.
I don't know about, he might want to rethink this one.
This is a middle linebacker's job in most coverages. When the quarterback breaks contain, the middle linebacker scrapes. If he's not in the zone, a 360 and a high ball. Ooh. And Arnez had a little trouble hemming it up.
Well, thanks to Jeff Overstreet. Literally jumped over him to knock that one free. 3rd and 8. Cadets are up for this one. On their end of the field. Out of the gun, they blitz him. He'll keep again and have another first down. to the 42-yard line, 18 yards.
Bill Dietrich talked about, actually in jest, I said to him when we got on the conference call, well, Bill, a little extra blitz pickup this week. He said, oh, man, they come from every direction. This is beautiful. Everybody, look, a white shirt. Look at this pocket. Beautiful. Blitz, 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 blitz. All picked up. That's why Holiday had a chance to look. Nobody's open. He makes the decision to run. First down. Nice job up front and by the backs.
Holiday's kept 4 times now for 72 yards, including the 53-yard score. Now back to the tailback and Wilson getting this series.
And how this is going to work as a domino effect, and we saw it the last time they had the ball, guys, when you saw, we talked about how Paul Mayo, the defensive back for the Air Force, came up a little bit when Holiday broke the pocket. When you have a successful quarterback running the ball, what happens is when he breaks to the outside, the defensive backs are kind of hung in an area as you see the dominance in total yards. Should we come up and play Holiday, or do we stay back in our coverage? You may see them start to come up now because Holiday has run, and then Holiday will just throw it right over the top.
2nd and 3. More things you can do, one of which is give it to Mike McNair, the fullback. And on his first carry of the year, he picks up 11. ESPN Monday Night Countdown, delivered by UPS, providing up-to-the-minute NFL news, comprehensive analysis, live interviews with Stuart Scott, Tom Jackson, Ron Jaworski, Sterling Sharp, and Chris Mortensen, beginning at 7:30 Eastern. All the news from the best of the business, leading up to Monday Night Football. And Al Michaels, John Madden this week have the Colts of Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, and Edgerrin James against Jerome Bettis, and the Steelers at 9 Eastern Monday. Grant back to work now. And stuffed pretty well for one of the few times.
You know, that Monday nighter with the Colts and the Steelers have been beaten. We saw when New England beat them and the Raiders beat them, they threw a ton against them, but don't really expect the Colts to do that. That's, even though we have Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, that's not their game. When they throw over 40 times a game, they have an awful record. And of course, when Edgerrin James rushes for over 100 yards, they're very successful. So that's really their bread and butter. Don't look for them to heave it all over the place, even though that's been the Steelers' Achilles heel on defense.
Pittsburgh, a trending preseason Super Bowl pick for that of the AFC. Grant picks his hole all the way for another first down inside the 30 of Air Force. 11 more yards.
And we pointed out Coach DeBerry being a fiery competitor. All we hear about Tyrone is that he's so stoic. Well, he'll get in people's face too. When he wants things done properly, he's all over Billy Palmer here, 85. Now he's up and down the sideline. Don't ever think there's not a lot of fire in these coaches because they look stoic when you get a shot of their face on television. You don't see everything. You don't win like these guys are winning without being fiery with your men.
13 for 107 now, better than 8 yards per try for Grant, and they go right back to him. And let's check in with Reese for what he's got for us at the half.
All right, Dave, coming up on the Saturn halftime report, a shocker in the Pac-10. The nation's second longest winning streak is over, and you've heard the luck of the Irish. How about the luck of the Longhorns? They turned in some in the Little Apple tonight. We'll also get you up to date on the World Series. Barry Bonds exercising those postseason demons. We'll see if the rally monkey could get the Angels back in it.
The rally monkey.
Exorcising the demons and the rally monkey, going to get them back in it. That'll be fun to
Holiday up to the line, and then a timeout call, his second. 1:46 to go in the half.
Week 7 is here, and the Countdown crew is feeling punchy.
YMCA.
We'll talk to Mr. Sharpie himself.
Is that a pin?
He had a pin in his sock.
Meet Brett Favre's backup.
I didn't know I had one.
Enough with the jokes, please, will you?
Ford examines the Ricky Williams effect.
There he goes! Bye-bye, Ricky!
Plus, John Madden and a closer look at the 49ers and Saints. Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
When people head for the great outdoors, they keep their gear safe, secure, and dry with ARE truck caps. Because that's the time to enjoy the more important things in life. ARE salutes the outdoorsmen and their quality time spent with family and friends. ARE truck caps, the top line for your truck.
Toys for trucks, with 5 convenient locations to serve you.
This is a traffic jam. It's the same traffic jam you sit in whether you bought expensive tires or not. But the guy with the Kelly tires gets to sit on a bigger wallet. So if you'd like to sit on a bigger wallet, hurry into the Kelly Safari sales event and get a good deal on a great tire.
With 1:46 and a half, Notre Dame has a 2nd down and 6 coming from the Air Force 25. So good position and obviously plenty of time to take a lead perhaps going into the half. And there's a lot of green around here. There's a lot of guys looking like leprechauns.
You know, we just talked about my career at Notre Dame and the trouble we had here, but anywhere Notre Dame travels, they certainly have a big following.
A lot of people love Notre Dame. I was at College Park High School in College Park, Georgia. Our fight song was the Notre Dame fight song. So we all pull for Notre Dame.
So the fans bought Air Force season tickets just to make sure they would have their seat guaranteed for this one. And inside the 20, close to the 1st down. First carry, Tom Lopinski gets starting fullback, hit by, again, Schlegel and Joel Below.
Bill, let's talk about our trends that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. Notre Dame, the smash-mouth West Coast offense, seems to be working right now for Air Force. How many defenders of Notre Dame could they cut? That hasn't worked very well either, and we will, well, they're going to measure for the 1st down here. It hasn't really worked for Air Force. It's worked for Notre Dame, but it's 7-7.
Notre Dame has more yards now than they've gained in a lot of football. They only average 293 yards, and I'm guessing they're close to that right now. They have knocked Air Force back and have controlled the line of scrimmage on offense. On the other side of the ball, they have not been cut. They've stayed on their feet. They have run down Chance Harridge and Palmer on the pitches. They have not been baffled by the triple option. They have played marvelous football, but for the mistakes, they'd probably be up a good bit more than they are.
Fisher DeBerry, I'm certain will tell them in the locker room at halftime, hey, we have not got our offense untracked yet. We haven't stopped them very well, and at this point, it's tie score.
Yeah, they're at 253 now, and their normal game production is 293, and we're not even through with the 1st half. So they got to be, Notre Dame's got to be pleased with the fact that they've moved the ball so well, and a little sad that they hadn't capitalized more.
They've held his attack to 73 total yards. My question now, if they don't get it on 3rd down, is this 4-down territory with the trouble Seta is having?
I believe it would be.
I think especially on this hash, and especially since it's 3rd and so short.
Just 1 to go. Battle 7 motion. Holiday will keep and have a 1st down to the 18.
They're just getting excellent movement, and the way they're doing it, Notre Dame has been playing against other people sort of equal talent like Pittsburgh, and they play high. Air Force plays low, and these guys have obviously practiced, and they're getting their pads down, and they're knocking the Air Force guys back. I really admire them for that. That's hard to do in a week's time.
Clock continues down near a minute. Notre Dame has 1 more timeout. The eye. Short drop pump fake. Holiday looking end zone and has to throw it away. Good coverage that time by Akinyemi, who stayed with Jenkins.
Akinyemi did not bite on the pump fake, which was really smart. Very nice job by Akinyemi.
It would be interesting if Notre Dame, obviously they'd like to get it in the end zone, but if not, they really need to set up Seta where he likes to kick the ball from. Because he has been struggling, as you guys have mentioned, kicking field goals.
He's such a good kicker. I would try to get it off this hash. This is a tough angle for a right-footed kicker. I would try to get it in the middle of the field if they're thinking field goal.
Both receivers to the opposite side. Now here's Battle. And here's Grant. And he's had holes like that all night. Foot race to the end zone. Touchdown.
Ryan Grant, the ball carrier for Notre Dame.
Well, that was a lot better idea than mine.
Yeah, better than the field goal.
Hand it to Grant, knock everybody down. You got to hand it to the big guys up front, and especially in this case, add in the fullback, 36, Tom Lipinski, who looked up Mr. Schlegel, 51. decked him in a nice run by Grant.
I don't think he got touched. And when that happens, you turn right around and shake your offensive line hand and the fullback. Absolutely right.
His 6th touchdown run of the year. Seta struggling with field goals, but still perfect on PATs, and Notre Dame has its first lead. Ryan Grant needs to go in at halftime and personally thank all his linemen, because this is a typical scene for him in the first half. Gaping holes, and he was not touched.
What a great room.
And Ryan Grant has 15 carries, 129 yards, and the touchdown to give the Irish the lead. His best game of the year was 132 against Michigan. Already close to that with 1:01 to go in the half. Chance Harridge forced to watch another long Notre Dame drive. 12 plays over 4.5 minutes. Seta sends a low liner all the way through the end zone.
Well, we talked about this Notre Dame defense and what they'd have to deal with coming in this one time a year with the option. Play discipline and stay on your feet, and that's exactly what they've done. If you have the quarterback, they're staying on the quarterback. If you have the fullback, you stay on him, and then everybody else is flying to the ball. What's impressing me the most is the white jerseys that are standing and running to the ball. This Air Force offensive line and backs are not getting to the legs of these athletes on the defensive side of the ball for Notre Dame. They are doing a fantastic job of this.
Air Force has 56 rushing yards. This is the #1 running attack in the country. They average 339. When the pitch is made, in almost every case, there's been at least 2 defenders there waiting, and Palmer this time and finds that the case.
And again, they're staying home. Again, we're seeing the proper technique. See, stay on your man, take the quarterback, don't let him cut up. Great job by Ryan Roberts and cutting in.
I want you to explain to the viewers what staying home means.
Ryan Roberts staying home on the quarterback. As Harridge comes down the line, Roberts doesn't give him the inside lane to cut back to. He stays on him and makes sure he pitches the ball in time for his rotating defense to get over and tackle. And we'll show it in replays. I'll explain it even better for you that and show you exactly what I mean. But basically what they're doing is they're taking Chance Harridge out of the game. They're not giving him lanes to cut into. They're doing a great job of that. But be careful. It only takes a couple of runs by this Air Force offense, and they're more than capable of doing that.
What Notre Dame has done on the ground and what their defense has done against the ground attack of Air Force, absolutely magnificent. And Michelle is with Ty Willingham.
And you've done so well defensively against this team, holding them to just 1 defensive touchdown. How has your defense been so effective, Ty?
Well, first of all, we're very fortunate right now. We've been able to kind of take the quarterback away and not give him his normal running lanes. If we can continue that, we've got a chance in the second half. But we've really got some work to do.
Your offensive line has really controlled the line of scrimmage. How much will you rely on ball control in the second half to keep their offense off the field?
Well, the first thing is ball control is important, but we've got to score some points, and we've got to get our offense kicked in gear. We've had a couple drives that we've kind of stopped ourselves with a couple fumbles, and we can't afford to do that.
Ty, thank you.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Dave.
They have found a way every week. One thing to keep in mind, the best quarter this year for Air Force is the third. They've outscored their opponents 58-6. Our Saturday halftime reports coming up. We're 14-7 Notre Dame over Air Force. Back now to Reese Davis.
Dave, excellent point. That shows the type of adjustments that Fisher DeBerry is able to make. 14-7, the Fighting Irish up on the high-flying Falcons. Glad to have you with us on the Saturday halftime report. Trev Alberts is here in
273-74, so you can take whichever picture you like out of that first half. And just about ready for the start of the second half. First, Michelle had a brief word with Fisher DeBerry.
Coach, your offense has yet to get on track, just 57 yards rushing. Where can the adjustments come in your offense?
Well, we've got to be more productive on first down. We're not doing a very good job on first down, and we find ourselves in long yardage in third down, and we got to sustain a drive. There's no question about it. We got to be better on third down on defense, and we're letting our defense stay on the field too long. Our offense hadn't been out there long enough this half.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Dave?
All right, Michelle, and you know what Fisher DeBerry no doubt was referring to is the fact that where they normally are used to getting 4, 5, 6 yards on first down, they're losing 2, losing 3, getting stuff for no gain. And so what they have been so good at avoiding all year, 3rd and long, has become the norm for them tonight. And something they will absolutely have to address here in the second half. Michael Greenaway gets it started. Montez Duff has it knocked away on the return and recovered at the 16 by Air Force. Their 3rd recovery of the night. Felix Cole comes up with the loose ball.
All it takes in this game is a big, big play. Air Force does a fantastic job in the 3rd quarter, as we'll get into. The hit and the strip.
They're in prime location to do what they have done. In 5 of their first 6 games, they've come out the 3rd quarter and gone on a touchdown drive. Let's see if they can make it 6 for 7.
Kenny Smith ripped it free. And Harris, the option pitch, Palmer has to step around Jerome Sapp to get a couple. What an electrifying start to the second half for Air Force. And again, the 3rd quarter is where they have been at their most dominant, and they've had all the success they've had, what little they've had, only because of Notre Dame turnovers.
Yes, and they've been absolutely frustrated by Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame's offensive line has controlled its side of the ball as well.
Up to the 13 for 2nd down and 7. And again, option right for Harris. He'll keep this time. And maybe one, if that, as Shane Walton leads the white jerseys up. So we'll have another 3rd and long coming, Mike.
That's the key right there, 3rd and long. And you heard Michelle talk to Fisher DeBerry about that. 5 times in the first half they were at 3rd and long. Fisher told us yesterday, if we're in 3rd and long, which is 7 or more, 7 times or more in this game, there's a good chance we'll lose this, because that is not the position we need to be in. And here's another 3rd and 7, or it's 3rd and 6 right now. But they have been in the 3rd and longs too many times tonight.
And what did Tyrone Willingham say about the quarterback just before the half began?
Say they were just
control the quarterback, and they just did it again.
Yep.
Just did it again.
Taking away his lane and letting the other men do their job going to the pitch.
Harris to throw. And a sliding catch at the 4.
When this little guy needs to throw the football, he can do it.
Leotis Palmer does a great job, Bill, getting his hands under this ball.
He does. Low. This is not a great throw, but he does get it past the defender and just high enough that Palmer comes up with a big league play. Another former high school quarterback out of South Georgia, in this case Darien, Georgia, Leotis Palmer, a big play man in this offensive unit.
Just the 3rd completion of the night for Harris. 3 out of 9, 1st and goal from the 3. And he collides with his fullback, still manages to get down near the 1.
And how successful has Air Force been when they've been in the red zone? 38 times they've been there. They scored 35 times. 28 have been touchdowns. That's an incredible percentage to get into the end zone.
And Ross Harridge, retired school teacher, as is mom Linda. Watching quite intently. 2nd and goal. And they give for Steve Massey. No signal. Not quite in, I don't think. But not much more than a foot away.
I'll tell you who's a threat down here in this part of the field is that number 50, Cedric Hilliard for Notre Dame. It's awfully hard to move him and his buddy Darrell Campbell, the 2 defensive tackles, but that's exactly where Air Force is attacking with the fullback. They count on the fullback to gain about 100 yards a game.
It's a chance to keep this one.
He keeps it straight ahead. Touchdown. They're ready anytime. Chance Harris gets to the end zone because it happens so often. His 16th touchdown run of the year.
And sometimes when it's not going offensively, like it has not been for Air Force tonight, You take advantage of those opportunities when you get them. They've done a great job of creating turnovers, and they're taking advantage of it, and they are obviously right in this ball game. The stats would not show it, but the scoreboard is the only thing that counts.
To tie it, Joey Ashcroft, 14-14. We have a marker down there.
Markers, they've done a lot of talking down there. Here's the great surge by the guys up front. Especially good job by Brett Heiser there, number 63, getting movement on those very defensive tackles I've been praising. We've got a flag down. Some jawing back and forth between the two teams down there after the extra point.
Big Ten crew, referee Dennis Lipsky.
The try is good. Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. That penalty will be administered on the kickoff.
Now what that means, that's an unbelievable foul. That means you're going to kick off from the 20-yard line, and that means you're going to give up field position automatically, maybe a big return, especially with Vontez Duff being upset with having dropped the ball previously. And whoever did the talking, Coach DeBerry will locate.
And it wasn't talking. I saw the ref go up to the Fisher DeBerry and say somebody hit somebody up in the face, which is just a dumb mistake right there.
Chance Harridge, as he headed to the locker room at halftime, jawing literally nose to nose with Shane Walton. We can only imagine what was said, but if Harridge said, "We'll be back," he was right. "19 takeaways leading to 78 points. Tonight they had 3 turnovers, and they've led to all 14 points for the Falcons. As the Falcon looks on at a 14-14 game now. Michael Greenaway having to kick after that personal foul from his own 20. And Duff starts at his 11. Fumbled the last kick. This time they'll start one of the few times tonight with good field position out of the 42. So it is a costly penalty. ESPN Game Track. Numbers at the half. For Notre Dame on the ground, unstoppable. 250, and for Grant, 129. Air Force averaging 339. They had 57 at the half. And they had been stymied every which way. Up the middle, either side on the option. But Fisher DeBerry again has seen his team cash in a Notre Dame mistake. Now back to Grant. And Grant run down from behind by Joel Belo.
One of the very things the offensive coordinator Bill Dietrich told us is they have to block those Falcons coming off the corner, and that's what happened that play. They did not get that done. Number 21, Joel Belo, came off the backside, the open side, and ran the play down from behind.
They're too fast.
Not play side, but backside. You got to have somebody to get a piece of him. Just too quick.
Second down and 8. Raymond McKnight, freshman wideout going in motion. We'll begin to Grant. Been terrific, especially off that tackle. And another first down of the Air Force 45. Paul Mayo finally corrals in there. Another gain of 11. This is the best night of his season now, up to 142 yards. 10 more than he had against Michigan.
And this has been Air Force's quarter. Let's see what they can do. They've outscored their opponents 58-6 in the third quarter, so the defense obviously has come out and played just as strong as the offense has for Air Force. Right now, Notre Dame has a bit of a drive going, but this has been the Falcons' quarter throughout the year.
Season and career high for Ryan Grant. Holiday. Nearly as effective throwing as scrambling tonight. And he'll scramble again. Run down from behind this time by Trevor Hightower. Junior from Plano, Texas. Just inside the 40.
Bill, I know you don't like your quarterback doing that an awful lot, but they're not coming up when he's starting to run. Certainly when they do that, he can dump it over the top. It's up to the linebackers like Hightower and Schlegel to stop Holiday when he's running. And right now, they haven't been able to do that.
Well, not until he's made substantial gains, and in one case a touchdown. Now he's coming up with 2nd and 4, and that's very much to Notre Dame's advantage. Looking for a little defense.
Totally reverse what Notre Dame is doing to Air Force has been doing to everybody. Marcus Wilson will be close for the first down. Don't forget our matchup on College Football Thursday, presented by Circuit City. Your chance to see the nation's leading passer, Phillip Rivers, and 10th-ranked NC State, which just did get past Duke by 2 today. They'll take on Willie Simmons and the Clemson Tigers in Death Valley, 7:30 Eastern, this coming Thursday.
Also got a pretty good freshman running back there in T.A. McClendon for State. Help out Rivers with the passing. Good running attack.
Third and a little less than 1. Not good during the year. Outstanding so far tonight. Lipinski, the fullback. First down.
We just talked about what was happening on the edge. Bill Dietrich's plan included bringing receivers in motion, moving them around. In this case, Omar Jenkins. Look at number 80 as he turns back. And his job will be to seal this corner right here and keep this man from making the play. And that's exactly what he does. That's his job. That's the guy that's been coming off the edge and plaguing the running game of Notre Dame when he's been able to get there.
3 yards. They depart from the arc one of the few times. And Holiday has just his 3rd completion of the night. Back to one of those to get away from Mayo and driven out at the 17. 17 yards for Arnez Battle.
Again, Air Force is a zone team. They're going to give you some room. Here comes the blitz. We're going to see the blitz here. We're going to see this receiver run off, him back up, and Battle just curl right in here. And it's going to be right there for him. A lot of room they give. The blitz is picked up. There's the hole. Battle just settles in, and you'll take Battle in a one-on-one with a lot of defensive backs in the country.
He has become a big play man with the football in his hands. We said that at the top of the game. He's got to continue to make plays like that.
This year had 5 catches. Last week against Pitt, career game 10 for 101 yards. First carry Chris Ura gets. He keeps charging forward and gets down near the 10. A senior from Morgantown, West Virginia, gets his first carry of the year. The first half, Mike McNair, another senior, got his first carry. Backups to Lipinski at fullback.
Sean Mahan knocking some heads here, knocking some headgears off.
Oh, Rudzinski's head. Oh,
yep.
Wow.
You don't like to see that.
No.
That chin strap on John Rudzinski.
Yet another 2nd and short. And back to the tailback, Grant. For the corner, inside the 5, and from there it'll be 1st and goal, Notre Dame.
John Rudzinski is the son of a gentleman by the name of Paul Rudzinski, and I had the privilege of being a coach on the Green Bay Packers staff when his father played there. He had an uncle, Joe.
Oh, I played
with you, right?
Played with at Notre Dame, right? Exactly right. Tough linebacker was Joe.
Yep, Paul was a terrific player. He's so proud of John, and, well, he should be.
Linebacker, a little bit of a theme there in the Rudzinski family.
Well, he's a very bright, he's a brilliant student. Not surprisingly, here at this school. Heck of a linebacker.
Notre Dame 1st and goal just inside the 5 with 2 tight ends. Grant gets about half of it before he stood up and knocked back by Hightower.
Well, this works twofold. They're controlling the ball, moving down the field, in position to score, and also keeping, again, the Air Force offense has not been very potent tonight, but they can strike at any time, and if they're on the sidelines, that's a plus for Notre Dame.
Well, what Notre Dame has done is to take Air Force's game plan and to turn it on them.
Right.
Possessing the football, keeping their defense off, and keeping their defense rested, frustrating both sides of the ball for Air Force.
Larry Stovall into the game, true freshman, the only wideout. Billy Palmer tight end motion. 2nd and goal. And Grant keeps going right down to the goal line, but not quite over.
I'll tell you, we need to talk about Ryan Grant too. He has run with excellent body lean. He has run through tackles, run over some people. I was impressed with a remark he made before the season. He said, I feel like this thing of Coach Willingham being hired is a historic event. I can tell my grandchildren I participated in a situation where an African-American who deserved a shot got his shot, and I want to help him be successful. Well, that's certainly the way he's playing tonight.
Career night for Ryan Grant, sophomore, Nyack, New York. 3rd and a goal to go from a foot away, and Holiday will put his helmet down, charge forward, and no signal yet.
I think when they dig him out.
Touchdown.
I have never understood the officials waiting on a call like that. If you're the side guy and that ball breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. Now, you go in and call it after he crawls forward. I would crawl forward.
Yeah, I keep moving.
You don't call it after he lays on the ground for a while. You call the thing when you see him break the plane.
Excellent drive by Notre Dame.
But, yeah, and all in all, a very well officiated game. Trust me, we'll tell you if it isn't.
Second touchdown run of the night for Carlisle. Holiday, and Seta again puts the Irish up by 7. Holiday's done almost nothing through the air, but a lot on the ground. But the Falcons have another scoring chance coming up. Back down again by a touchdown.
Taco Bell's grill.
Right back to what worked so well for him in the first half.
And let me remind everybody that field position, the dumb penalty after the extra point, gave Notre Dame their first good field position of the night, and they capitalized.
Although, you know what? If they'd started with their own 1, I don't think it would have just made it drag out a little bit longer. Their last 3 possessions, 33 plays, have totaled 207 yards. But they've had a couple of turnovers turned into Air Force touchdown. No chance for the return for Brian Blue. Down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, I am told that at halftime the Air Force locker room was really relatively calm. Fisher DeBerry telling his team, hey, if you just keep doing what you've been doing, minus the mistakes, we're very much in this ball game. And sure enough, as you said, they came right out of the locker room and scored to tie it up. But I think this next drive, Dave, is really going to be the telling factor of whether or not they're still really in this ball game. Can they put points on the board as Notre Dame just did?
Well, you almost have to say, can they get a drive? They've had so many 3 and outs. They recovered that last fumble on the kick at the 16. Carriage out on the corner and keeping this time for 6. And that's about as long a keeper as he's had all night. Run down by Kyle Budden's.
That's amazing. This kid's about a 270, 280 pounder, and he ran down Chance Harris.
Hey, I'm telling you, he ran him down. Chance Harris beat him back to the inside. He plants his foot. Look at it. Regains his balance, grabs him by the shirt, and gets him on the ground. That's a terrific play by a great big defensive end. Notre Dame came in this game prepared, knowing exactly what they got to do.
11th carry, 28 yards for Harris. Averaging 102. Option toss, and Joe Schieffer tripped up, but not before he has an Air Force first down. And those have been precious items tonight, few and far between.
But you will not see a change. You will see this offense run, unless they obviously have to throw it at the end of the game. You will just see different variations, the load option, the triple option, all the different things. They will not leave this offense, and they're just looking for that one crack, that one chance when they bust one off.
Well, they almost got it right there.
Hey, you're absolutely right.
They almost got the sideline because the pitch man did not get to his assignment. That's how they made the first.
7th first down of the night for the Falcons. Carriage ready to go deep into coverage, though it's stolen from midair by Shane Walton, his 6th interception of the season. Those were the 2 who had the conversation going into the locker room at the half. Advantage Walton.
And Brandon Hoyt gets a hit on Chance Harris. He'll blitz. He'll come up the gut. And right as he's following through, he takes a shot. Ball hangs. There's Walton. It's certainly something he's done this year a few times, huh?
You're almost surprised when the game ends and he doesn't have a pick. Had 3 of them against Maryland to start the season on this tone. Marcus Wilson and the tackle made by Charles Bucher. So the first turnover by Air Force, which is lived by the 3 Irish turnovers.
But you know what? They got a little bit of movement that time. They got the first down, then they get the turnover. Michelle talked about how important that drive was. And I think it was a decent one for them. They did get a little bit on the option. Then they get the turnover. Now you want to talk about another drive important. This Air Force defense has got to come up here and make a stop.
78 points. You average that out, it's 13 points per game for an offense averaging just under 23 points per game, including what the defense has helped them get. Marcus Wilson. And they'll have a third and a long 3. So this is what the Notre Dame offense is used to. Lots of opportunities by their defense.
And what's happening here is that people like Omar Jenkins, number 80, right there at the top of your screen, is getting accustomed to blocking off the corner. It's not something that he does every week. He does a nice job there on Joel Belo and springs his back for another good game. They're getting better as the game progresses.
Falcon defense needing to dig in here on 3rd and 4. And Holiday, plenty of time, a strike to battle at the 40. Defender saying he trapped it. And one official finally coming way from the secondary and agrees, incomplete.
Side judge was there. They're calling him in now. Side judge was coming and marking that it was a catch. In the back, they were saying no. He came in and I could read his lips. He said the ball hit the ground.
Once again, the Air Force defense was stymied as it's blitzing in its attempt to get to the quarterback. Marvelous protection. The blitz pickup is just right. We can check the throw and catch here.
Oh, yeah,
no catch.
Absolutely. Great call.
Surprised Arnaz would argue this.
Well, you got to.
I'm surprised he didn't knock the wind out of him because he landed on the football. That hurts, man.
Hurts worse, though, not to get the catch, I would think. And for one of the few times, Notre Dame will have to kick it away. Joey Hillbold, to enjoy the altitude, gets a sideways hop and out of bounds at the 15-yard line, a 42-yarder. This tale of 2 seasons. A drama in 3 acts, and Act 2 coming up. On the 14th of September, we've got Michigan Notre Dame. Shane Walton tipping John Navarre's 2-point pass with 2:53 to go. 2-point win for the Irish. Meanwhile, a week later, Air Force Cal. Jeff Overstreet tipping away Kyle Bowler's 2-point conversion to 10:31 seconds left. And Air Force won by 2. More coming. Air Force forcing the punt. It was a good one by Hillbold, pinning them at their 15. They trail by 7. Harris with the pitch, and some room out there for Darnell Stevens. Driven out emphatically by Jerome Sapp, but he gets 15 yards, and that's about as good a run as they've had all night.
The third option in the triple option, obviously, is the pitch to the tailback. When there is a mistake made, and you'll see that the inverted action of number 26, Don Clark there, he comes out, gets a heck of a shot on Vontez Duff. So Duff can't fulfill his responsibility, which is the pitch back. Now they're off and running to a first down and maybe more.
First man through gets it this time.
And next thing you know, Mike, all of a sudden the fullback is making 5 or 6
exactly
shots.
right, and they changed it up a little bit on that last play as well. Alec Messero came and blocked down on the man who was going to take the pitch man to open up the corner. They have so many variations in this triple option. That's why you've got to play disciplined football for 4 quarters against these guys, because they will hit a big one on you.
Massey gets 5 on just his 4th carry. They've held him to 11 yards. Harridge coming the other way this time. And where he likes to turn it back up and usually has some room, this time Brandon Hoyt was there waiting for him. Tomorrow night at 9, catch 2 episodes of Beg, Borrow, and Deal.
If you missed the show that everyone's talking about, here's your chance to see back-to-back episodes of Beg, Borrow, and Deal. Sunday starting at 9, a special encore presentation on ESPN.
It's a lot of fun trying to watch regular people beg professional athletes to let them.
Are those regular people?
Regular people begging professional athletes to shoot against him, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, everything.
Palmer 3rd and 5. Got away from Derek Curry, and he managed to get close to the first down. Looked like Curry had him for a loss. Vontez Duff finally makes his way over to the corner along with Sapp.
Air Force
is
is
short, though.
Just beginning to make some yards, but the story of this game to this point is the coaching job done by the Notre Dame staff, offense and defense. Yeah, he outran Derek Curry, but he didn't outrun the force man, and they're 4th and short at their own 40. They need to punt this football.
Absolutely right.
Okay, there's defensive coordinator Kent Baer, and that signal means play safe punt. Notre Dame's going to line up and play defense here, expecting a fake.
They're not going to try and rush anybody. They're just going to stop the man in front of them and watch for a fake.
Robert Barkers. Not much to look at here. Low, end over end, not much of a hop either. Boy, you expect better than that out of him. 37 yards, all he gets. Ty Willingham and the Irish leading 21-14 late in the 3rd.
You know, ideas
about his philosophy of life. It's a good idea to listen.
I grew up in a community that believed in the greater good. So therefore, it was not just about the individual, but that individual had a responsibility to his community, to society, to be a winner, to be successful, to help someone else. So it is in this role that I have as a coach of Notre Dame that I also believe I have a responsibility to the university, to my ethnic background, and to our players, to be a winner, to give them the right example that makes them winners, hopefully, for the rest of their lives.
Well, it's working, and hopefully, week by week, more and more are taking note. As the Air Force defense holding Grant to a short game, Below up from left Falcon.
He's one of the classiest guys, and I first went against him when I was with the Eagles. He was coaching with Denny Green with the Minnesota Vikings, and the thing players talk to about Ty is the respect that they had for him and buying into what he was coaching and teaching on the football field, and that is certainly carrying over to his college coaching career.
Gain of 2. Holiday with plenty of protection again in the throw. This time Battle making the move after the catch and has a first down. Down across the 35, down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, also this week when people suggested to Ty Willingham that his talent is better than that of Air Force, he would just shrug it off. He told us, you know, there are a lot of talented teams that don't play well. He said when he was a freshman at Michigan State in 1972, they had 10 to 12 players drafted off of that team. And that team went 6-5. He said we should have been better than that. It's not about talent. It's how you come together and play as a team.
Well, tonight, it's also about talent. Grant straight ahead for 2, because there's no getting around this. Notre Dame has 15 parade and or USA Today first team high school All-Americas. You can say what you want about, what really goes into those selections. But Air Force has never had one. And when people looked at this matchup, they said, you know, Notre Dame, man for man, every single matchup should favor them, and it has tonight.
Statistically, it has, and you look at that scoreboard, and Air Force is still one play away from tying it up, but they have been dominated on the stats.
Out of the gun this time. All 5 of his completions have been to Arnez Battle. Look at him move in the open field. And Bill, you call this one. You did not think, after watching Arnez Battle's season, that Air Force had anybody that could match up with it.
That's exactly right. When we talk about players with star potential, Arnez Battle has always been the potential guy. Picking up his blockers here on the jailbreak screen, so-called because the linemen come out. It looks like a bunch of big, heavy guys coming out like they've popped out of some imprisonment, and they block. And a shifty guy like Arnez is finally maximizing his potential after overcoming some serious injuries and a position change. It's good to see if you're a Notre Dame person, certainly.
He's a starting quarterback a couple of years ago.
That's right. And as for Tyrone Willingham, when I asked him about responsibility, he said we all have a responsibility to the young people of America. And he's exactly right.
1 quarter to go. Notre Dame dominating everywhere but the scoreboard, where their lead is still just 7. Dave Barnett, Mike Golick, Bill Curry, and Michelle Tafoya. And 4,000 cadets.
Yeah, the Notre Dame guard has been suspended, but the cadets guard, I think, is alive and well.
Temperature dipping to the 30s, wind chill into the 20s. 1st and 10 Irish, 46 of the Falcons, and Holiday look deep and then pulls up and fires another one to Battle. He has all 6 completions to the 26, a 20-yard hookup.
Now I got the game plan. Carlisle, run around until you see Arnez and then throw it to him. Okay, you got that? And it's working.
Just 2 guys out in the street.
And this time you saw Holiday start to take off. And this time the defense started coming toward him because he's been running. And there was Battle then wide open. It's kind of hanging out, hanging out. Here I am.
Then the fun starts. So 6 catches, 85 yards now for Arnez Battle. Holiday slips as he turns to go on a naked bootleg. And that's going to lose 6.
The whole Air Force defense just kept going. They thought he handed the ball off. Look at the blue shirts. They're gone. No idea Holiday had the ball or fell down.
Boy, Ty knew he had something too. All he had to do was keep his feet.
Well, shall I do my lecture about keeping the weight over the balls of your feet to keep your cleats in the ground? That's what you got to do, Mr. Holiday.
Here comes a blitz. It is picked up. Holiday rolling. And has to throw it away. Here comes a flag. Chris Ura blocking for Holiday. They may have holding.
I think he's on Trevor Hightower, number 44. Chris Ura looked like he did a hog-tie job there. Got Hightower on the ground, and it was called.
Air Force got to back him up.
This is one of those Susan B. Anthony blocks here. Looks like a quarter.
Right here, they're
worth
going to get
$1. It's very effective. It's just that it's illegal, Chris. They will not let you do that.
Just act like you were tripping and fall on him instead of reaching that arm around.
But at least he landed on it.
Here we go.
See, Coach Golick here really likes blocks and tackles where folks get landed upon. So we have to grade those things in each game that we do.
Well, Notre Dame was down around the 25, and the way this thing has gone, another touchdown, it's really hard to see Air Force coming back. Now they're going backwards. They have the 6-yard loss for Holiday, now tack on the penalty, and they'll snap this one, 2nd down and 26 from the 42.
Not many good play calls for 2nd and 26.
Maybe a screen, draw one of the bubble screens out wide.
And the watch right there, Battle. Bottom of your picture. They have a little comeback pattern for him over the middle. And Battle is right down close to the 1st down. Took him all of one play to get 25 of the 26.
Coach Golick, what a play call.
That bubble screen, but they did it out of motion, bringing Battle across. And then doing it to the short side of the field. He goes in motion and comes back. You send the lineman out. See, here come the lineman out to block. And he'll just come right back underneath and take it up. Does a great job of going north and south after he catches the ball. Turns it up. Excellent execution.
2nd and 26 turns into 3rd and 1. 2 tight ends in the eye. And Grant is hit for a loss. Schlegel makes the defensive stop of the night for Air Force.
The backside guard, Sean Milligan, the right guard for Notre Dame, had responsibility for Schlegel, who's going to run through the A-gap. Here he comes right off the center. See him coming right off the center's outside shoulder. Actually, Grant falls down before Schlegel gets there, but Schlegel was there to make the play.
Seta missed wide right from 41 yards in the first half. Here's a 36-yarder. And again, he's wide right. Now, how big was the trouble Notre Dame ran into after they got down near the 25 the first time? They still lead by 1 touchdown, 1 play away, Air Force, even though they have been run up and down the field against all night. Seta has not been able to help the Irish cause.
Well, people think Starbucks is
96. Last time the Air Force knocked off the Irish, it was 20-17 in overtime. And Lou Holtz had to congratulate Fisher DeBerry. 2 years ago, the last meeting came down to a blocked field goal, and the Irish celebrated that 3-point overtime win. And this one's starting to get that same kind of feel. Although Air Force's longest drive tonight has gone all of 27 yards. Harris fighting hard to get 2.5.
Guys, I've been there, though. It does not matter. Again, I lost 3 times to Air Force in my 4 years, and 2 of those, they were close games. And coming to the end of the game, it just takes 1 or 2 runs by this offense, 1 or 2 letdowns by the defense, and all of a sudden this game is tied up again.
With key penalties, Notre Dame has let Air Force hang around in this game.
Penalties and 3 turnovers, 2 of which immediately turned into points. Low pass. And will they give the catch to Omeziga? No. I don't think. No, they are.
No, they are.
They sure are. They'll say he got it at the 27.
Well, let's see. The officials got the one with Battle right.
Well, I'll tell you, Chance has got his low ball going tonight. He needs to get it up. That's no catch. That ball's on the ground. That ball was on the ground. That's no catch. No catch.
I think his fingers were under it.
Tyrone knows it.
Mike and I against Bill. 3rd and 3. Harridge pitch. Palmer. 1, 2, 3, 4 white jerseys followed him to the sideline, and he loses 3.
And Mike, back to our theme, I saw 1 white jersey on the ground, 10 running to the football, playing their responsibility, then turning and accelerating, and they had not 1 but 2 tacklers on the pitch back.
Let's see how many players end up on the ground here. Look at everybody running the ball. Everybody on their feet. The 4 guys coming all on their feet. Nobody getting their legs taken out. Easy play for them.
Another Falcon. 3 and out. Parker's kick. Good chance to return to Duff. And up to the 42-yard line. 43 on that kick. ESPN game track. As we now move into the 4th quarter, and Chance Harridge's frustration grows. A lot of Arnaz battle. And for Air Force, all they've managed in terms of scores have come off turnovers. That was the first, a 19-yard fumble return by Marcello Grady to give them the early 7-0 lead. And whatever Chuck Peterson hasn't already told Chance Harridge, we'd love to know what it is. Marcus Wilson carrying. And Bill, you've got a team used to 339 rushing yards a game. They're right at 100. At this point, it's not strategy, right? It's got to, at some point, come down to, can you execute against the bigger guy across the line?
Well, can you get the guy on the ground and do your job? They're not blocking the Notre Dame defenders. The defenders are well deployed. They have an excellent plan. It's a simple plan. And Kent Baer told us you can't do many things against these guys because they have so many formations. But they are totally frustrating the Air Force offense. And the defense is going to have to knock one loose or pick one off or something.
They forced a rare punt last time. And they'll have a 3rd and 2 coming from midfield. College Football Thursday, presented by Circuit City, and from the ACC, Phillip Rivers, nation's top-rated quarterback, coming into this week, helping NC State survive Duke today, number 10 team in the country, still unbeaten. But they go to Death Valley Thursday night and take on the Clemson Tigers, 7:30 Eastern. For more, as always, you can log on to ESPN.com.
Seems like Rivers been in college for about 5-6 years, doesn't it? We're talking about him for a while
He's
now.
starting as a true freshman.
Yeah, exactly.
Tough to do at QB.
Third down, Holiday has battled again. I don't know if they'll give him the first down here because he's driven back immediately by Larry Duncan.
No, he's got it. Where the referee is marking the ball, he'll have the first down.
What a marvelous idea by Bill Dietrich, offensive coordinator for Notre Dame. All night long, he brings his receivers across to block on the corner, as we've already shown you.
If this one hung any longer in the air, it was
this one. Now here comes Battle. He's going to fake the block, slip out in the flat. It's so well conceived, but read perfectly by Larry Duncan, the free safety.
They're measured here. I do believe it's the first down, Bill. It gives us a chance. Let's talk about those trends that we started at the beginning of the game and then talk right before halftime. And now Notre Dame, the West Coast smash mouth offense, where they're really hammering the ball and running the ball. As we see the first down, over 300 yards rushing in for Air Force for the Notre Dame defense. Keep their integrity, stay in their lanes, and make the plays.
Arnez Battle now. 8 catches, a career-high 113 yards, and Michelle has some more on Battle.
Well, Dave, when he was recruited to Notre Dame as a quarterback, he was given that traditional take into the locker room, shown a locker with his name on it, and a number 3 jersey, and he immediately thought of famous number 3s, Joe Montana and Rick Meyer. Little did he know that he'd be playing receiver wearing number 3 and having a Montana-like impact at that position, Dave.
Starting quarterback 2 years ago broke his wrist in week 2. A sack back at the 46-yard line. Trevor Hightower. Battle then went to wideout last year, missed 4 games with a fractured fibula. So he's had a couple of years of frustration. But back-to-back career-high performances. Last week against Pitt and tonight, as Holiday is flat on his back and Pat Dillingham is getting loose well as you can, and sub-30 wind chill.
That was a coverage sack there as we see what's happening with Holiday, and they certainly have had a number of quarterbacks here that have moved on to other positions for both teams.
Gary Gottes's brother, of course, George, who just last year finished a terrific career quarterback in Georgia Tech.
We saw Brian Blue return a kickoff. He's the backup quarterback. He is the second-string quarterback behind Harridge. And then, of course, Palmer was a high school quarterback, now a wishbone halfback here.
Now remember, Holiday injured his left shoulder September 21st at Michigan State. And last week against Pittsburgh was his first start since then.
And this is a coverage sack, a zone defense by Air Force, hanging out, can't find anybody, looks to run and gets sandwiched.
That could be the knee or either shoulder.
Yeah, they had him wrapped up.
Well, I guarantee you they're hoping it just knocked the wind out of him, that he'll be back momentarily.
So here's Dillingham, sophomore, who hit the game winner, a 60-yard touchdown against Michigan State after Holiday had to leave. And again, Schlegel up quickly to Barry Grant.
Wow, Bill, he's something, isn't he?
He's something, and Richard Bell is so proud of him as defensive coordinator. And Schlegel, as you know, Mike, walked up to you and me before the game down on the field and said, I want to thank you for saying nice things about my coach, Coach Bell. Because I had complimented Coach Bell at practice. This guy's a real football player. We've already told you, the first sophomore in the history of the program to be elected captain of the football team.
Here is a 3rd and long. They need to get to the 38. And they keep it on the ground. Grant reaching the 46.
And considering the way the game has gone, that was a very good call. We talk about not having very good calls on 3rd and long, but you got that cold quarterback in there in Dillingham. You hand it off, hope maybe you can run for a first down. If not, punt the ball and let that outstanding defense go back out and take care of business.
Here's the chess match. Play that field position.
Joey Hillbold, senior out of Centerville, Virginia. One of the best at pinning the opponent inside the 20. Palmer pinned at the 10. Act 3 coming up this tale of 2 very dramatic seasons. We may have Act 4 when it's all said and done. 6:19 remaining.
Saturday night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Carlisle Holiday out for just one play, but from the looks of things, we'll be ready to come back. Right now, Air Force starting 90 yards away from a tying score. And a good start for Harris as he gets J.P. Waller for a gain of 13. Remember, Air Force's longest drive tonight, 27 yards.
Well, that's a matchup they would like. Getting a guy like Waller on a linebacker, on Courtney Watson, even though he's small and fast linebacker, you'd still rather have a receiver on a linebacker. You'll take that matchup most any day, especially on a crossing route. If Harris can hit him in stride.
But you know what? Kent Baer is going to sit right here. Here are the numbers: 5 for 12, 42 yards, 1 interception. He'll let them throw those little crossing routes all night.
He's going to throw it.
Here we go. Flea flicker. Palmer throwing back to Harridge. It hangs up in the air, and it's time enough for Walton to come over and get a hand on it. It had to be excruciating for Harridge to be that open and see the ball float on Leotis Palmer.
This is the throwback. This is an old-fashioned flea flicker. A trick play, and it's wide open, and you just hope and pray that Palmer can make a nice throw and not hang it up forever. Unfortunately, he does hang it up, which allows the alert Shane Walton, the ever-present Shane Walton of talking fame. He and Chance had a little discussion going in the locker room, and Chance is going to see him in his dreams.
5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
And it wouldn't even have mattered.
Insult to injury.
Yeah.
You didn't complete the thing, but had you done it for a touchdown, we'd be walking back here because some lineman didn't pay attention to his P's and Q's.
It's one of those plays that to try and pull off that everybody has got to be on the same page.
Almost a touchdown, except for the penalty. Almost Walton's second interception of the night at 7th of the year. Instead, 1st and 15, and Harridge runs another completion. It's going to be close to getting all 15 as Anthony Park has his first catch of the night.
Do not forget for an instant that Chance Harridge is a fantastic competitor.
He can throw the ball. I'm not happy about that, saying no way that
almost always stoic Tyrone Willingham is human, and he knows that that kind of throw and catch is the way a team like Air Force can get right back in this game.
I like the little pole they got there, back there. A new deal.
So actually, it came out early 90s, the quick stick. You don't see it everywhere, but
we used it for a while in the Southeastern Conference, but everybody argued about the use of the quick stick. And so it went the way of all things that you try to use as innovation when you let linemen get involved. We had too many coaches that were former linemen.
That thing confused me already.
Me too.
The only thing important is they know how it works. Palmer in motion, out for the pitch. Just no breathing room for him at all night long. Well, the drama up to Act 3 and back on September 21st. As we mentioned, Carlisle Holiday had injured his shoulder. Dillingham 60-yard catch and run, mostly run for Battle. A minute 15 to go. Irish won at 21-17. A week later, Air Force and Utah Heritage 20 yards to Don Clark. 17 seconds to go. They pulled that one out 30-26 over the Utes. How will this one end with a little under 5 minutes to go? Heritage going deep. Overthrows Park.
That's what I said. One play, guys. One play. And this is a tie ball game. It's Tyrone Willingham, Kent Bear, the D coordinator. They have to be sick that a receiver got behind that defense.
Can you believe he ran right by Shane Walton and Jerome Sapp, the two outstanding DBs, ran right by them. They threw this ball in Thursday's practice. There was a perfect throw, and Park caught it over his head, and that was the last play of the offensive practice, and the team cheered them off the field, but it was not to be in the game.
Thing is, Air Force doesn't throw it much. When they do, they hit you big. 15.6 yards per completion for the year. And that's how they get that whopping a number. Heritage calling time. So twice they've been so close to the one play they need to pull in.
Stand.
I want to welcome the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and all their families that make up U.S. Forces Japan. Watching our telecast on the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do in forging friendships and protecting the Pacific. Been something watching these 4,000 cadets preparing to protect our country. Here's 3rd and 5. Heritage on the option pitch. Don Clark driven down by Sapp, who has been masterful all night at taking the pitch.
Sapp is a dominating, strong safety. He takes on his blocker, knocks him back, throws him off, and comes off and makes the play single-handedly.
This is a fantastic play off the block. The man who made Vontez Duff, 34, plays off his man and does a great job helping force it out of bounds with Sapp.
So after Air Force twice just misses open receivers for deep balls, they again have to punt. Barkers gets a roll this time, and Duff will have to watch this one go dead at the 6. 4:22 to go. A 57-yarder by Barker. Sports Center will follow. Kenny Mayne and John Anderson. World Series underway. And highlights of this battle of unbeatens and the top 10 plays. Well, Notre Dame has dominated every way you can, and they have a 7-point lead.
But they have turned the ball over 3 times. They've committed some key penalties, and they've allowed a scrappy Air Force team to stay close. And even though Air Force is not playing their normal football game, they still got a chance.
They're there, and you know they're a 60-minute team, no doubt about it. That defense is going to try and come up big here. Notre Dame needs to put some time into a drive right now.
Holiday just missed one play. 4 of their 6 wins have been by 8 or less. Familiar territory for the Irish. And they'll try to use clock as Lopinski gets it out near the 10.
Now, Air Force has not executed their offense and defense as well as they normally do tonight, mainly because Notre Dame has played so well.
Right.
Notre Dame has not executed as well as they would have liked because they have put the ball on the ground 3 times. So which of these teams can win when they're not at their very best? That's how you have a great season. You have to play games when you aren't at your best, but somehow you find a way to win. Right now, as you say, Mike, Notre Dame needs a drive.
Heritage watching that clock. And now watching his defense on the 2nd and 6. Grant. It'll be 3rd and 3. We have a record crowd of 56,409. That's about 4,000 over capacity tonight. 6-0 teams, Notre Dame and Air Force. Maybe the last battle head-to-head of unbeatens we'll have all year, unless Virginia Tech and Miami can get down to their final game of the year. Also unbeaten. Most anticipated matchup, most think, in the history of the Air Force Academy's football program. This will be a delay penalty against the Irish, and they'll back up to their 5. Air Force had an early 7-0 lead on a fumble return for a touchdown by Marcello Grandi. They've gone back and forth. It's Notre Dame trying to run out the last 3/4.
and the very worst time for a drive-killer type penalty. They took too long in the huddle. Notre Dame normally penalized about 52 yards a game. Bad times.
Second and 11. And again, they called on Grant, who gets the first down. A career night continues. 14 more yards for sophomore Ryan Grant. Now 177 on 27 carries.
Again, let's see when he's touched first. We talked about this O-line tonight and how well they've played. Lipinski leading through, still not touched, still not touched, still not touched. There's the first time he's hit over 10 yards down the field. Great job by the O-line, the fullback, the tight ends. Again, smash mouth, West Coast offense. That's what we're seeing tonight out of Notre Dame.
He's run up against a team that has executed at least as well as his, and 20, 30 pounds a man bigger. Grant to the 22.
Like, it looks a whole lot more like smash mouth than it does, West Coast. That's almost an oxymoron. But they've involved battles so that they've got some of that West Coast.
So we could keep the West Coast in.
Coming up, Sports Center on ESPN. College Game Day Scoreboard on ESPN2. That's at 1:30 Eastern. I mean, it's a game plan that Eric Parsegian would have been comfortable with tonight. I mean, just blast them out of the I formation time after time.
He wouldn't like those turnovers, but yeah, he would like this knocking them off the ball stuff.
We have been talking about the West Coast part of it, and battle has been a part of that.
At the 25, Grant gets the clock down right to 2 minutes. And Air Force will use its next to last timeout.
And in typical fashion, Air Force scratching, biting, digging, trying hard to knock the ball loose, fighting right down to the wire.
Boy, there's a man that's certainly, along with the rest of the team, giving his all. No doubt these guys leave it on the field.
Let's go down to Michelle.
Well, Dave, Fisher DeBerry has very limited time with his players. A typical day for an Air Force player starts with reveille at 6 a.m. and then breakfast. Classes fill the morning, and at 11:30 a.m. the players go to lunch, where DeBerry gets his first chance to meet and dine with his players. Then it's back to class until team meetings at 2:30. Practice runs from 3:20 to 5:20 sharp, because if players get to dinner even 15 seconds past 6:50, they have to find someplace else to eat, like getting a pizza somewhere. At 7, it's the Academy's version of study hall, so they can get to bed by 11 p.m. when it's lights out. That's the official lights out time on campus, so that they can get a few hours of sleep and get up the next morning to reveille at 6 and start all over again, Dave. Sounds kind of like Golick's schedule, doesn't it?
Michelle, there were not enough food lines in there for me, so I don't think it would have worked.
You know, the other thing is when they're seniors, they may take as many as 24, 26 academic hours per semester. You just think it's impossible somehow to do it. Flags everywhere. Flags are everywhere, and Holiday on that naked bootleg reached the 35.
Well, Air Force was just flying in from the sideline as Notre Dame was at the line of scrimmage. So did they run in with too many people?
It was a shocking lapse of discipline on Air Force's part. Regardless, illegal participation. Had too many people on the field.
There was confusion. You're right, Bill. What a bad time for some confusion.
I mean, it's amazing. The awful lot of people in blue shirts
2, 3,
out.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, I can count, okay? That's one too many.
You just don't see a DeBerry team do that sort of thing, and especially in this situation.
On the defense, 15 yards.
It's a 15-yarder.
Resolve the penalty. First down.
And regardless of that, it was an excellent play call by Notre Dame. The naked boot with Holiday. He had the first down.
So instead of a 3rd and 5 and a chance to force one more punt and have one more chance, it's the 22nd first down of the night for the Irish.
15 first downs to 7.
And that is the last Falcon timeout. About to wrap up with Act 4. And Carlisle Holiday, 53 yards for a key first half touchdown for Notre Dame to get their offense cranking. That's immediately after he had coughed up a fumble that Marcello Gravy returned for a touchdown and get Air Force started with a 7-0 lead.
While the Notre Dame offense, especially the running attack, really got on track tonight, there is no doubt the credit tonight to Kent Baer and that defense of Notre Dame, shutting down the #1 rushing attack in the country in Chance Harridge. 339 yards a game they average, and ND's defense just absolutely put the clamps on them tonight. Excellent discipline, excellent technique the whole night long.
Notre Dame's last 7-0 start, 1993, a near national championship year. They were 10-0 until they were upset on that late field goal by Boston College. Sports Center coming up next. ESPN News will have post-game coverage from Colorado Springs. Grant has been unstoppable all night long. And on his 30th carry, he gets to 191 yards. The other thing that's just remarkable is all 8 of Holiday's completions, 8 of 15 for 113, all to Arnez Battle. No one else has caught a pass from Carlisle Holiday today.
I'd like to correct one thing. These are not first downs. Those are the rankings coming in. I was looking for a graphic, and that was the only thing left up there. It's not that late. I do know the difference.
This is Air Force has been, what, second in the country at 34 minutes a game, and not tonight.
So all Holiday has to do, take a knee. Air Force out of timeouts, and the Irish count down the final minute. Take you back to the first missed field goal of the night by Setter from 41 yards, wide right. Some coaches will be a little more visibly upset. All-time Willingham did just have a real quiet word with his struggling kicker.
That stuff doesn't work with kickers. Tyrone is doing exactly the right thing. You keep that guy loose, he's going to win one for you before it's
either that or he says something to him and then says, I'm going for it on 4th down next time.
You don't tell him that.
Yeah, well, he said that to himself.
What a great win for Notre Dame. This is their best win of the year, in my opinion.
Well, Willingham said this week, by far the best team they have seen all year is Air Force, and they just do survive their own mistakes, dominating Fisher DeBerry's team statistically, but they settle for a 7-point win, 21-14, as Air Force, like Oregon early today, is knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten. So, with this win, they now have won 29 of their last 30 over Service Academy teams since 1986. Willingham, just the third first-year Irish head coach to start 7-0. It is their best, as we said, since '93. Third win this year over a ranked team, and Ty Willingham is with Michelle Tafoya.
Ty, every coach that has tried to take on Air Force this year has said it is virtually impossible to prepare for that triple option in a week, and yet you did it. Your defense was masterful. How did you do it in a week?
Well, first of all, we're blessed to have great coaches that put a great scheme in place, and our young men executed that scheme flawlessly. I mean, they ran hard, they executed, they kept their responsibilities, they were very disciplined, and in doing that, it allowed us to have success.
Your offense also had success. I knew you wanted to score more than maybe a touchdown in the second half, although that was all that it needed. But how did you dominate the line of scrimmage today?
Well, we were just fortunate. We played a good opponent, and domination might be a little too strong. But I think our guys played very hard and very consistent.
7-0, and yet it never seems to get any easier. You go to Florida State next week. How long do you let your players celebrate before you start to focus on the Seminoles?
Well, since we've got a late flight back, they don't have much time to celebrate with this one. We'll get back about 6 in the morning, and there's no time to celebrate. We'll just get to work on Florida State.
You said this was your toughest opponent. Congratulations on the big win, Ty.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back up to you, Dave.
All right, as always, very humble in victory. The Irish stay perfect, 7-0. as they defeat Air Force by 7, 21-14, our final tonight before the record crowd of 56,409 at Falcon Stadium. Sports Center, Kenny Mayne and John Anderson coming up on ESPN. College Game Day scoreboard on ESPN2. For Bill Curry, Mike Golick, Michelle Tafoya, to whom we bid adieu. Good luck in the NBA. Dave Barnett, so long from Colorado Springs, Colorado.